Hi, thank you for joining me. Today I'd like to share information concerning a grid for creativity. This grid can be used for either creating setting up the energy in an environment. That means the energy would affect the environment that it is in, or you can use the setup for yourself. Now, if it was a setup, you can use small. I have small pieces here. So it's a labradorite piece. One side is nice and sort of smooth, and the other side is rather rough. And then I have a sectarian, which is an egg, and it's smooth, but it has some slight imperfections in it, and that's how I normally pick my crystals. I like them to have some type of imperfection in them. Now, crystals about this size would be really great to use as far as setting up an environment. If I had crystals this size only, then I would set these up. To me, it doesn't matter with this the orientation, because I like the energy I'd like to just be open for the energy to come from any direction. Now, these two I would set up here, and this is selenite, and I would set this up here. It doesn't matter. Remember, I said it doesn't matter about the smoothness or roughness of the crystal, nor does it matter about the shape of the crystal. What does matter sometimes is the size of the crystal. The larger the crystal, the more energy it moves, generally speaking. Some very small crystals can move a large amount of energy, even though the size is small. So I would use these three crystals, and then I would have a single point crystal, and set up in the middle, and then loop each of these for creativity. Each crystal has its own properties, but they bring something to the table. Once joined together, they will assist in creating the energy of that environment. Another thing that I would like to do, especially if there's a lot of other people coming into an environment, and sometimes people have a tendency to be a little negative, maybe not intentionally. I would introduce black tourmaline or black onyx into this grid, and that would help keep those negative mindsets in check, and that way the environment would be more conducive to learning and creativity. Then I would join each piece to the main crystal in the middle and allow the energy, and also to allow the energy to direct up and outward. Once you join these crystals together with that last joining, then actually move your hands in an up and outward manner to tell it to direct the energies. You can use both hands. I'm holding a larger piece, that's why I only was using one hand, but you can direct the energies to go up and outward, talking to the crystals as you are directing with your hands. So this is really good to set up for an environment, and this can be set off somewhere. If you are at liberty to write a petition, you can write a petition for this particular session. You can write a petition, put the date on there, the name of the session, and put it on there. It's your intent that the session runs smoothly and that the attendants get as much and gain as much as they can during this session. So that is a good thing, and that is good to actually petition. My main thing in assisting or showing you these things is to assist you, and that is to gain, not to do harm. Now, with that said, if I wanted to actually have this set up for myself, and that means to put myself in this setup, I would use larger pieces, crystals. This is a selenite, smooth on the ends and kind of rough. Selenite, if it has not been smooth, has these shards, much like glass or fiberglass, so you want to be careful when handling it. This also is a crystal that cannot be in water if you want to keep it, because it will dissolve. And this is labradorite, which is just a larger piece of the one, the earlier one that I showed you. And the septarian, these are the ones that I use for creativity. This is a sphere, and it will roll. It's kind of staying still, but I also have a this little small piece that will help it sit steady. And this would be a setup that I would use. These have points. These two have a point, and I would point it inward because I would be sitting in the middle. And when I do that, then I would sit in the middle, and then I would use my mind to touch. Or depends on how far apart I have these, I can actually physically reach over, and I would turn around and make contact with each of these, and I would be in the middle. These large ones can also be used for the environment, just as the smaller ones were. They've just moved a larger amount of energy. Now, if I was sitting in the middle, that would be perfectly fine. This setup would be, and that would be all I would need to do. But because I have these smaller pieces, I would actually hold one in each hand while sitting in the middle. And you can sit on the floor, place these on the floor and sit on the floor in the middle. You can place these on the floor and place a chair or stool in the middle and sit on that. Or you can actually place these in your office. Just say on a window ledge, not this one. Not at the window open. You don't want this one selenite in contact with water. But you could place each of these on a desktop or tabletop or something, so they're positioned around the room. Just say you want your whole office to be an area, an environment conducive to creativity, whether it be for writing or any of the other visual arts. You can also place them in your studio. It will still work to help keep the creativity or the creative juices working and moving in that environment. And then these you can place on your person or on your desktop, just extra. These are kind of like here, but I would change these. Or depends on which energy you want to tap into at the time. If it's writing or speaking, you probably will want the septarian. If it's other creative arts, music, painting, drawing, you will want the labradorite in that left hand. But you can switch up to see which one works better for you, how the energies move better for you. And then again, if you want to set these up just in the environment, you would set those up, make your petition, place it on top, place the crystal, single pointed crystal on top, connect everything to it, tell the energies to disperse outward into the environment, and then let that set. Make sure it's sitting someplace where it will not be disturbed. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time.